So again, coming from Texas, you have firsthand knowledge of the Biden's administration failure to secure the border. We're helping. We've got National Guard troops down there right now, but it's the federal government's role to secure the border.
Absolutely.
So how would you handle, first of all, the border crisis, and would you pair that with immigration reform and kind of talk a little bit about what that looks like?
You know, this is a great opportunity for the Republican Party as well. For us to lead in this one area, that I will say this, we have not led in 50 years. So this is one area. Usually the Republican Party, they're not at the table on health care. You know, we let the Democrats do that. We're not at the table with education. We let the Democrats do that. And we're not at the table with immigration. We say, oh, that's not our area. We just want to kick everybody out, right? So I am for a secure border. We have to secure the border, but we can't just do it in Texas. We have to do it all the way to California because there's a governor over there named Gavin Newsom that'll put a big welcome sign up. You know that's true. And he will not allow National Guard there. I'm sure he'll fight it at every turn. So the question is, a lot of my counterparts are saying, Ryan, let's put the military there. I think it's a short-term strategy. Certainly we can do that in case of an emergency. But as soon as a Republican president's out, those guys are off, and we know that. So what's the real solution? I think it's a long-term solution to secure the border, and it's going to take money. So I'm supporting the Dignity Act. It's a brand-new act, Republican-led. Everybody say Republican-led. This is what we need to do. No, we're driving the ship now. So our act is called the Security and Dignity Act, which falls in line with Representative Maria Salazar from Florida. I went and met with her in D.C. She's promoted this Dignity Act, which is amazing because what it does, it provides funds, secures the border from coast to coast with barriers, technology, towers, people. $30 billion. What President Trump wanted to do, this actually has a funding mechanism for, so we can get it done so 50 years from now, our kids won't have to wonder, do we have an open border here? That's what we need. Amen? We have to have that. And then what it also does is it provides, I would say this, dignity. We have people that have been here 20 and 30 years, some that came over here when they were 2 or 3 years old. And I've talked to people, and they're just saying, Ron, we're going to kick them all out. And I'm like, listen, there's a group of people that came in here in the last, we'll call it 3 or 4 years. And this Dignity Act does not leave any room for people that have come in the last 5 years. They have to go. But actually, people that have been here the longest, name the number, 7, 8, 10 years, 5 years longer, 20 years, allows them to have come out of the shadows, have work registration, legal work registration. It's not amnesty. They have to pay a fine if they committed a crime by crossing the border. Like any of us, you either go to jail or you pay a fine. They pay about a $10,000 fine over 12 years, but then they can work here legally. It meets the worker solutions, but more importantly, it does this. It solves the problem once and for all. It keeps fentanyl out of our country. Right now, as you know, it's killing 200 to 300 people a day, and I'm telling Iowans everywhere I go, how many people have to die a day before we want to get together and do something together? So this is the way I will lead as president. As president, I will no longer vilify every Democrat on Friday and then ask them to work with me on Tuesday. I will try and lead in a bipartisan way because there's some problems we have Republicans can't solve on their own. And I'll tell you what they are. They're the budget. We can't do that on our own. We just saw McCarthy and them celebrate for a $4 trillion, debt increase. Can't do it on our own. Can't do the border. Can't do health care. And you can't truly do a movement into urban America unless we start doing things together.
Thank you. And so